Good morning. If we can call the Economic Development Authority meeting for February to order. If we can start that with a roll call, please.
Director Yanello?
Here.
Director Joyce? Director Derby?
Here.
Director Mitz?
Here.
Director Almus? Here. Vice Chair Fye?
Here.
Chairman Booth?
Here. Thank you. First order of business, we have consent agenda, which includes approval of the minutes from our last meeting on August 5th, 2025, and the December 2025 report from the treasurer. Any discussion needed? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second?
A second.
If we can call that for a vote, please.
Director Yanello?
Yea.
Director Derby?
Yes.
Director Mitz? Director Almus? Yes. Vice Chair Fye?
Yes.
Chairman Booth?
Aye. Thank you. First order of business, public comment. Not seeing any this morning. I think that we can move on. We don't have any new business that I'm aware of. So we can move into old business with an update on the wetland delineation.
Chairman, no update currently. We're waiting for the weather to kind of relieve itself. Right now, the grounds are a little hard. I think 1st of April, we'll go ahead and coordinate the meeting back with the Corps and try to get that wetlands delineation for us for the property owned across the street.
Don't you think it would be good if it was hard? They could walk across and there would be no wetlands. It would not sink.
True. We want the conditions to be fair and make sure it's reasonable, but I appreciate the thought, but at this point, they will not come out until the weather kind of.
Yeah, but April is not the best for wetlands.
We'll work with the consultant, and so, I mean, we'll start the conversation in April, and
Okay.
They
Maybe
may-
they'll be there around in August.
I think the goal is that before really the summertime season, schedule the visit so that hopefully the delineation can move forward.
Okay.
Any additional questions or comments needed? So moving to the north side of Victory Boulevard.
Absolutely. At the last December council meeting, the Planning Commission and the council had a joint work session to discuss the north side of Victory. The discussion led to a little bit of language change into our comprehensive plan. What they are seeking is a comprehensive review of the property to have more of a cohesive plan come together. A lot of talk on the residential side as it relates to the property that the EDA owns. The property adjacent to it, which is research and development, speaking of potentially changing that to commercial, general commercial, but that's only in the future land use map. That doesn't mean they're doing a rezoning currently for the property, but that's just discussion that. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention that, Planning Commission and Council are moving forward with their strategic initiative that Council has as it relates to the north side.
Which properties do we own up there?
We own 6 parcels.
Oh, the 6 parcels, okay.
Basically the cleared
area.
parcels.
Okay,
The parcels that we're trying to get the wetlands delineation on.
okay. Just wanted to make sure I was thinking the right thing.
So I just wanted to make the board aware that this discussion is currently going. I believe council is going to potentially, at their next council meeting, provide direction to Planning Commission as it relates to the language in the comprehensive plan.
So if I'm tracking the conversation, would R&D cease to exist on the property? Because it's always been kind of an overlay.
Potentially.
Okay.
They're going to suggest it for the change for the future use, which means, again, changing the comprehensive plan, looking to a rezoning in the future after discussing with all the property owners. I think that's been a little bit of contention because they see that, property owners think they're getting rezoned. That's not the case. We're just talking about the comprehensive plan and the language in that plan.
Additional questions or comments? And timeline moving forward, you said that city council will have a conversation moving forward in the coming meetings, but any comp plan update is still a year or more out?
Potentially, yes.
Okay. Moving down, staff activities, anything to report?
No report. I just know that we did have a citizen concern about the frequencies of the EDA board meetings. So I will try to make sure I work with, Donald on going forward to make sure if we have important information to discuss, we will definitely have the meetings. So I just bring that to your attention that we'll try to do better to have current meetings. Topics are available.
I'm concerned, just to go back a bit about the north side of Victory Boulevard. When Legacy was approved, or discussions and gone through the process, nobody really said anything negatively about it. Once it started building, the community got up in arms about, we want green space, we shouldn't have approved it. Is there going to be any pressure on EDA to purchase the property on the north side of Victory Boulevard to leave it as green space? Or on the city, I should say?
Currently, that has not been a discussion of council to have green space. I know initially, council has discussed about just the EDA parcel and potentially leaving that as future green space or park recreational, but that's the only discussion they had in their retreat that they had back January of '25.
I was going to say that when we, at the retreat, we talked about the 6 properties that we own, general commercial, and then as you go back into the properties, they wanted more green space, to which I brought up, you need to, if you want, parks and sidewalk, all the things that you want at recreational facilities, it costs money. And so you got to have the general commercial to provide the taxes that can help pay for this. So we got that out there. It's, everybody wants the green tree, and I do too. I mean, I want the green trees, I want the green space. I would like to see the houses not so close together, but that all costs money.
Correct on that. So as Commissioner Fye did mention, that is the case, that she did mention the fact that we need dollars. And this is no different for our budget year as we going into our 2027 budget year. We are scrimping to figure out how to meet ends due to the fact that disabled veterans year after year takes pennies away from us. We're about 11 on our dollar.
But it's up to now over $1 million. Don't get in taxes.
It's right now at 1.6 million that from disabled veterans tax.
Yeah.
My only statement on the green space, certainly I think that there's initiatives for community development that include green space and parks and other aspects of that. As the EDA, with that being our prime frontage on the corridor coming into town, I don't know that that's the personally best prescribed use for your gateway park. Keep it as trees and fields and.
I think they were talking more back in.
And that's
That made more
a
sense.
bit bigger on a comprehensive
That's right.
basis, that does.
Right.
So,
If I recall, though, we had somebody owned one of those properties in the back that wanted to sell it to the town because it was completely landlocked.
It was landlocked.
And connect to our other properties. So, but, again, I just think that we should be thinking ahead in the sense of what does that mean to the community? And my position personally is I got no problem with leaving it green space. It's going to cost Poquosonites 5 cents on every $100 to maintain that green space because, like you said, we have to have the revenue to run the city. If we don't have the revenues, somebody's got to pay for it. And is that going to increase property taxes? Maybe. But, that's the alternative. You want to vote for, purchasing the property and leaving it green space? Fine. Your taxes will go up to counter what we would have gained from developing that property in taxes. So, I'm thankful that the Hunts sold all the property that I live on, as far as Huntwoods goes, because otherwise I wouldn't have a house, but,
True.
there's got to be a balance, but I just
There is.
think as the EDA, we better be prepared to look into that and have, two properties back here that Poquoson Legacy wanted to get, and we said no. We didn't say no, we made provisions. Okay.
Director's comments, any?
I was surprised, and maybe it's just me, and maybe my head's sand, but I was surprised Planet Fitness came out and I didn't know about it. Is there any other businesses out on the horizon that I don't know about that, people say, well, how come you don't know? You're supposed to know.
Well, to be fair with Planet Fitness, it was the intention of that, my understanding, the initial pass, of course, the owners of the Farm Fresh building with Planet Fitness could not come to term. So theoretically, we thought that was to bid, and then all of a sudden, we get a permit request. They came to, agreement, and then, it came out before we even knew it. So to be fair, that was our intention, to update everybody, make sure you're aware of the business, but again, it was something that surprised us. Until they asked for the permit, we were not aware that they.
That's because, the other people weren't paying the taxes on, and all of a sudden the taxes came due.
That is correct. It's interesting, and we're excited for them to be a partner here.
Oh, yeah, I think it's great.
We've heard, positive things, and I love seeing advertisement on commercial where they're actually pronouncing Poquoson correctly. So,
Is there lots of people? I haven't been there yet.
It hasn't opened yet.
it hasn't opened
hasn't
yet.
opened
They've got a following on Instagram, so there's a couple social media sites that they're posting on. I know certain employees have already registered to be members, so we're excited to bring that. And my hopes is, my understanding, they do like a pizza fry. I'm hoping that they'll utilize the Domino's, the Poquoson Diners, the Mr. C's, use in-town pizza shops to host. Our next niche is to make sure they're utilizing us. Of course, there's also a seafood festival that we definitely need sponsorship, so we're hoping partners with us.
I have heard a complaint about it already, though. No childcare. They don't have a facility inside like some of the other ones do to provide for infant care while you're using the facility. So, I don't have any kids like that, you little bit. So, but I have had 2 people ask me about that. It's like, I didn't even know they were moving in, so.
When are they expected to open, do you know?
I do not know. I reached out to them in December to try to set up a ribbon cutting, and they did not want to commit to it currently. So I'm waiting for them to reach back out to me.
I was thinking should have bought right in January when everybody's gung-ho on their New Year's resolutions.
New Year resolutions, absolutely.
When they came before the Architecture Review Board, I think that they had set a goal of, what was their goal at that point in time, and all
Okay.
that was aligned with getting materials and contracts, equipment and everything necessary to do that. The young lady who was associated with management, I don't know her exact title, excited about being a partner in the community. And on a positive, as the Architecture Review Board, there's some beautification coming to the shopping center as a whole as a result of the. My understanding is they're only taking about 65-70% of the footprint that Farm Fresh had, so there is an additional suite, if you want to think of it that way, storefront that could potentially be another business.
Did not know there was another part in there that
Well-
could be helpful.
Yeah, so whatever the math is of square footage that Farm Fresh used to be, my understanding, footprint is only 60 or 65% of that footprint.
Correct.
So,
I think it's the side closest to the Dollar Tree that's
Correct.
going unused.
I do think Kathy had a good point, and as long as I've been on the EDA, it's come up continuously. It's like, I don't know. We don't meet every month, don't need to meet every month, but in a
Okay.
perfect world, it would be nice if we did have some sort of flow of information. And that's no one's fault. We're never set up to kind of insight on these things. So, when
Some of the people in the community know that we're on the
Right.
Economic Development Authority, and they say, well, what's coming? Is this coming? I've heard this rumor, I've heard that rumor, and it kind of helps to be in the know.
Okay, absolutely. Well, the only thing that is coming up currently that's coming up to council is a CUP for a business across from McPherson. It's going to be a landscaping business. So other than that, there's nothing else that we have any additional permitting that's going on in the business corridor. Of course, we constantly, i.e. the city office, reaching out to a couple contacts, trying to get them in property. But again, it's very hard. No one's calling us back as it relates. I had heard that, there's a couple looking at, Harris Teeter's looking at Carthage Neck Road to put a location for a grocery store. My concern is if that's successful, it would, it basically.
At Calthorpe Neck?
That particular rumor, though, has been going around a long time. A long time. And I would be very surprised, not saying that they're not, I'm just saying I'd be very surprised with Kroger. Because they're owned,
In the middle.
Harris Teeter's owned by Kroger. So.
I tried reaching out to another food chain that's a similar community. Currently, they only have a few grocery stores. But again, it's hard getting someone to call you back. Trader Joe's was the only one that was successful with getting an actual area, so at least I appreciate someone giving me an email.
That's terrible, because their footprint is the size that we're looking for.
I think it would be a good niche for Poquoson to have a. My kids turn me on to that store, and I'm like, oh, now I get it. It's, it's not like a Food Lion. It's a little different. You don't have to worry about sales. They come in competitively, so.
Any additional comments, questions? And I think that we can adjourn. So, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.